The student will log into their student portal. They will click on the Current Students tab, go to the Exams tab, and click the e-assessment information. Students will then navigate to the practice papers on e-assessment. At the end of this page is the link to the CIRRUS platform. In order to access the practice paper exams, students will need to enter their username, which is their student email address, as per their student portal, and password, which is their student number. Students will have 2 practice papers for the FAE AFR Interim Assessment with 2 attempts at each paper. Once a student logs in and starts the assessment, this is counted as an attempt, even if no questions are answered. Once logged into the CIRRUS platform, the list of practice papers available will be displayed. Once the Start Test button is clicked, the introduction page for the exam will appear. It will include the amount of time allotted for the exam, which is 90 minutes for the FAE AFR Interim Assessment. Students must answer all parts of this assessment. Alpha characters, currency symbols, and commas to separate thousands are not required and should not be input into the answer boxes. Where necessary, answers should be rounded to the nearest whole number. For example, if an answer is calculated as 81.7, candidates should input 82. Similarly, if an answer is calculated at 124.3, candidates should input 124. A negative answer value may be required for the numeric questions as indicated. Where necessary, a negative value should be entered by inserting a minus sign before the number. For journal entry questions, a net journal entry should be provided. Where both debit and credit entries are required for one account, then only one entry should be made. This entry should be the net amount of the individual entries. If a journal requires an account to be debited by 100 and credited by 150, for example, then the correct net entry would be credit 50. Marks are awarded for partially correct responses to journal questions. If students do not complete their exam within the allotted time, their script will automatically be submitted. The student will then need to scroll to the end of the introduction page and click on the green Start Assessment button. The exam time will only begin once this button has been clicked. The left side of the screen contains the section narrative, and the right side of the screen shows the question and requirement. For each section, students can expand either the section introduction box or the question box by moving the mouse in the following way. Students can also click on the arrow for the text box to pop out, giving the student full view of the answer template and section text. The text can either be increased or decreased by using the A+ or the A- button. Students can flag a question. If they are unsure of their answer, they can highlight the question to remind them to return to that particular question. The student will need to click the flag button again in order to remove the flag. The overview button shows the student the overall questions answered and which questions have been flagged. This is located at the bottom part of the screen. Students can skip to different parts of the exam. They can navigate easily through the questions without having to continuously click the next button. For the FAE AFR Interim Assessment, the complete exam paper can be viewed by clicking the Resource button. For this assessment, students can keep the resources open continuously throughout the exam when answering the questions. Resources can be maximized to full screen by clicking the Maximize Screen icon. The AFR Interim Assessment contains numeric and financial statement questions. Students will use the templates provided and enter the figures. Currency symbols and commas to separate thousands are not required and should not be input into the answer boxes. Numbers should be entered without decimal places. Where necessary, answers should be rounded to the nearest whole number. Students can use the Tab button to move to the next row. A negative answer value may be required for the numeric questions as indicated. Where necessary, a negative value should be entered by inserting a minus sign before the number. Once students have completed their exam and wish to submit it, they will need to click the Complete Assessment button. If the student runs out of time, the exam will automatically be submitted. 2 notification pop-ups will then appear. Click Confirm and then Finish. Students will need to click the next button to view their script answers. This is only available for practice papers and not the live exams. Students will need to compare their answers to the suggested solutions on the Chartered Accountants Ireland website. Click the Results tab to show all question and student answers. Right-click the mouse and save to PDF or print. This PDF printout can then be used to compare to the suggested solutions. The Institute will be keeping the e-assessment resource pack up to date. Please remember to check this page for any further information.